Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a variation on a previous video that we had done before. If you've seen the thumbnail, you already know what we're doing. Recently, I don't know, last week or two ago, I don't remember when it was, I did a video on how to make the perfect sliceable sandwich bread every single time using any recipe, and I kind of put my recipe that I was using to show you that technique in the video as well. So I'm going to link that video in the description box down below. So I've already done those steps in this, but now I'm going to show you how to take that bread and turn it into a cinnamon bread, cinnamon swirl bread, or a cinnamon raisin bread. Like you can buy them at the store. That's a small loaf of bread that's cinnamon raisin swirl bread, but you can make it at home just as easily for a lot less money, and it's much better. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I've already got my dough done, and it has already risen in the bowl, and now I've split it in half. And I've got half of it here that I'm about to roll out and show you how to do it. And the other half is in the bowl ready to go. So let me flip the camera around and show you how to turn regular bread into the cinnamon red or cinnamon raisin bread, whichever you so desire to make. Okay, so I've got it, half of my dough out here on the countertop. And I don't really add a lot of flour to it because it's got oil on it, so it doesn't really stick. I just kind of form it into a rectangle and then spread it out. Doesn't have to be perfect, thankfully. And then at this point with the sandwich bread, you would just roll it up and put it in a loaf pan. But here's where it's gonna come different. See if I see any big air bubbles, then I will pop them like this. Here's where it's different. I'm gonna take this is a half a stick, but it's gonna go for the whole thing. So the other half of the dough will have this as well. So I'm gonna cut this in half and use 2 tablespoons for this one and the other 2 tablespoons for the other half of the dough. And we are going to, this is softened. I don't know if it's salted or unsalted, just use whatever you have. I'm gonna use half of it here and the other half for the other part of the dough. And we're just gonna kinda spread it around with your fingers, clean hands, obviously. This is something I've had to play around with to get the right amounts. And you can adjust these amounts to your liking, but I found too much butter makes it separate in the oven. So I'll push it back apart. But the butter is just gonna kind of help it stick. And then you're gonna go with brown sugar. And this is just a 1/3 cup measure. And I don't pack it because you need it to be kind of, and I don't even do a whole 1/3 of a cup. Like this. And we've got cinnamon. I'll just do like a half a tablespoon of cinnamon. And now I'm gonna kind of mix it together like this with my hands. Now, if you just want it to be just cinnamon swirl bread, at this point, you would go ahead and roll it up and put it in the loaf pan. And I will do that on the other half because Colson asked if he could have some without the raisins. But to show you, as if you couldn't figure it out, I don't measure the raisins, I just, a little handful. Just sprinkle some raisins on, however many you like. I do try to separate them so that you don't have like a big clump of raisins in there. And spread them out fairly evenly so that you can make sure you get a raisin in every slice once it's sliced. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you get it. And then you would roll it up. And then at this point, it's just like the rest of the sandwich bread recipe. You put it in the loaf pan, seam side down in the loaf pan, and let it rise just like the other video shows you until it's time to bake it. And that's really the only difference. Now I'm gonna do the other half of the loaf the same exact way, only I'm gonna leave the raisins out so Colson can just have cinnamon bread. So I'm gonna know that my cast iron one has the raisins and the other loaf pan will not. And then this goes up back over there. We'll have it covered with a towel, and the two of them will rise together until it's time to bake it. Okay, so we're done with the baking process. So it's just like before, you rub butter on it and when it comes out of the oven and let it cool. It's still not completely room temperature, but we're gonna go ahead and slice it and show you what it looks like on the inside. This one that I'm slicing has the raisins in it. The other one, I'm gonna leave it whole and put it in the freezer for later. That does not have the raisins.
Beautiful.
Wait, so it looks like this. See? And it does kind of come apart because of the butter, but that's okay because it does it with a store-bought one, it comes apart like that as well, but it's because of the butter that you put on the inside. So it looks like that. It's a lovely texture. It toasts beautifully with some butter on it. It's amazing. So that's how you can make a cinnamon raisin bread at home. Apparently someone likes it. And that's gonna do it for this video. So check the link in the description box down below for the video showing you how to make the bread in the first place. And then you can just implement this, raisins or no raisins, to your preference. And then yeah, we're gonna go and finish supper, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Love you. Bye.